Alright guys, reacting to another Nostalgia Critic video, and that's right. You read the title, I'm reacting to the Nostalgia Critic's review of the South Park movie. Yes, the South Park movie, oh boy. I mean, because when I saw that this came out, you know, the Nostalgia Critic doing a review on the South Park movie, yeah, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. You know, it just hit me. I was like, what the heck, you know, I'll react to it. And of course, I had to watch the South Park movie. I think, you know, a couple of times I had meant to watch the South Park movie. You know, watch something South Park. And, you know, I finally did. And I gotta tell you, the South Park movie, you know, after watching it, like, I was like, wow. Because, like, wow, literally, just so much happening in the South Park movie. Like, that's South Park for you. You know, for me, I'm not a South Park fan. I mean, I respect to those who are big fans of South Park and enjoy watching South Park. But I tell you, just, there's so much to South Park, you know, they have at times, definitely many times have gone over the top, you know, they did back then and they still do. And they, like, at times, like almost got in trouble, severe trouble. I tell you, because with so many jokes, you know, that, like, stuff that I probably wouldn't find that funny. But, it, you know, I mean, I did laugh at some stuff in the South Park movie. There was some, like, some of the funny moments in the movie, like, were to laugh at, you know. But yeah, overall, because, you know, not a huge South Park fan. And, you know, a quick funny story, because my parents, when they watched an episode of South Park, you know, their jaws dropped. They couldn't believe what they were watching. I can understand that anybody who would watch South Park for the first time. And I guarantee you, because when it first started in, you know, the late 90s, you know, everybody was shocked at what they were watching. But, you know, of course, as the years passed, like, it had its fans and stuff like that. You get my point. And by the way, because the Nostalgia Critic, you know, he's talked a lot about South Park before. I mean, not all the time, but, you know, a couple of videos, like, talked about, like, some of their Christmas episodes, and even did a top 11 list of some of the best South Park episodes. And now, finally, he's reviewed the movie. So, yeah, nice to see. Alright, so, without further ado, we shall begin, and I do have a snack with me, as I sometimes would. And, you know, especially, like, if I'm doing a reaction video to the Nostalgia Critic, so, you know, anything Nostalgia Critic, I would usually have a snack with me. But anyways, no time to waste, like, let's get straight to the video itself. Alright, we shall begin now.
This episode brought to you by Jive, your award-winning app and debit card that can save you money today.
And as always with Nostalgia Critic videos, always be prepared and have to deal with ads. And when it comes to editing these reaction videos. Alright.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy. Remember it so you don't have to. In a time where maybe, just maybe, more and more people are seeing animation as more grown-up than most grown-up entertainment, you gotta think about those anime films that blurred that line in the past. You got your Fritz the Cat, your Akira's, your Sausage Parties, movies that showed American audiences there can be anime films exclusively for adults.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Of course, the 1999 film that challenged the ideas of censorship, scapegoating, and call-out culture while having a show that oftentimes was the center of all three. We're talking about the foul-mouthed wonders themselves, South Park.
Yep. Those two adult animated films, like one with racing and the stop-motion one.
Like other anime films based on shows made over a decade earlier, South Park had a bizarre contract that said they needed to make a movie along with their show. Maybe because the show was so low budget and they figure a movie would be easy, I'm not sure. But Rather than waiting for the popularity to kind of die down, the movie was released arguably at the peak of their success. While the show had constant run-ins with parental groups about what could be shown and said on TV, the movie decided to focus on not only the outrage that the show was getting, but the probable outrage their movie was going to get. They had constant arguments with the MPAA about what justified an R-rated film as opposed to an NC-17 film, which many theaters wouldn't show. Like a note they received once that said if there were over 400 swear words, the film would be NC-17. So the creators put in this, no joke, 399. Yeah, that one extra swear word would have scarred a 16-year-old for life, I guess. While this film managed to challenge censorship in the theatrical world, YouTube is much less forgiving if even one F-bomb is dropped. So we have our cute Kitty Chaplin saying words with the exact same meaning, but technically aren't swears. So advertisers can rest assured people who don't want to deal with the real world don't have to. Right, Chaplin? You said it, feces digester? Already off to a great start. Let's take a look at South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut.
Okay.
Actually, the title itself is a perfect sum up of the ridiculousness of MPAA standards. The original title was South Park All Hell Breaks Loose, but the MPAA wouldn't allow a title with the word hell in it. I think everyone can agree bigger, longer, and uncut is far more dirty, but it doesn't have the word a Disney character used in a G-rated film in the 50s, so I guess it's okay.
Or Captain Kirk saying, "Let's get the hell out of here," in Star Trek.
With no swearing at all. It builds up the oncoming onslaught of indecency by opening with a Disney-style song.
Cookie.
In fact, the whole film is constructed like a Broadway-style musical at a time when that really wasn't popular. Even Disney was backing off heavy from it. In fact, they lost the Oscar for Best Song to Phil Collins singing one of these pop songs that can vaguely be played on the radio or in the movie. I'm sorry, was totally meant for just the movie. The fact that it could be played on the radio as well, just pure coincidence. The South Park guys could eventually stop with this joke, so can I?
Yeah, they made a joke about that.
To do something many movie audiences saw as lame at the time and breathed new life into it. Tipping their hat to the genre, but still doing it their way. The boys are excited because they're finally going to see the Terrence and Phillip movie. Based on a raunchy cartoon they love to watch. Yes, the cartoon, everybody's overreactions to it, are a satire of their own interactions with the show and what they presumed were going to be the reactions to the movie. Hell didn't quite rise up, but Saddam Hussein did die, so there's that. After walking by a picture of one of the director's sisters, they find they can't get into the theater because they're not old enough. Yeah, it's almost like the cartoon you're watching clearly isn't for kids. I want 6 tickets to Asses of Fire. They get a homeless guy to purchase the tickets, and they're introduced to their favorite cartoon characters saying things they've never heard of.
And he fell for it.
Fornicating. Roller in the hair. Rooster. Goodies.
Thanks, Chaplin.
Proprietor of Tail. It probably goes without saying, but the songs are massive toe tappers, and everyone credits Parker and Stone, but the composer, Mark Shaman, who's written many catchy themes in the past, also deserves a ton of credit. It's pretty cool how people naturally
so
this team's musical abilities.
The guy who did Addams Family did this.
Even win almost every musical award there is.
We just went to go see the Terrence and Phillip movie.
The next scene, the boys talk about the movie they saw and share their new colorful vocabulary. Stan is thrown off though when he sees Wendy, the girl he's in love with, and keeps puking on. It's also kind of fun revisiting these old South Park tropes they haven't used in a while. But it looks like she's being courted by a boy named Gregory.
Which, spoiler alert, not really.
Talking of memories past.
I could be wrong, but I swear this is based on Nigel from Top Secret. I never heard them confirm that, but come on.
Get lots of sleep. Tomorrow.
They have the same haircut.
For freedom.
Hillary, how wonderful you've returned to me now.
No, it's obvious. I can tell. Now that I hear his voice.
Though surprisingly, this isn't the film that has a cow mounting him scene in it. Soon all the kids see the movie and are using the same colorful language.
Milky. It's going screwy. That
buttocks.
How much is this gonna keep up with Chaplin?
Kenny! This is a good time to mention this film has the record for the most swear words used in an animated movie. Don Power Wash has
Okay, an ad.
found in traditional dish soap.
Yeah, as I was saying, like, is this gonna be throughout the rest of the review with Doug's cat? You know, we cut to Doug's cat, you know, like, saying something like censoring the swear words. I don't know. I mean, knowing Doug, like, hope, like, he would make sure not to drag
Get in trouble for their harsh language, but that's not on Stan's mind, as he still wonders how to win Wendy over.
Chef, how do you make a woman like you more than any other guy?
Oh, that's easy.
Chef.
You just gotta find the... I think I can say this one. I'm not sure with YouTube. Oh, I'll just play this. Dolores!
You guys, I know where I can find the...
Dolores!
The what? What, is that like finding Jesus or something?
No, Jesus is easier to find and easier to please. School panics at the popularity of Terrence and Phillip, and in one of the many examples of censorship working against the censor, the school says anyone wearing a Terrence and Phillip shirt will be sent home, only encouraging the kids to love them more.
This is a film destroying American youth. Here with a special report is a midget in a bikini.
It's so weird to say, but I really forget how random early South Park humor was.
Mm-hmm.
The school tries to sing to the kids how to say other words despite them meaning the exact same thing. This works for the moment, but once they see the movie again, they're back to their old ways. In fact, they're inspired by the movie to light their farts on fire, resulting in, spoiler, Kenny getting killed.
As Kenny always does.
George Clooney, an early promoter of the show, has graduated from voicing a dog to voicing a doctor, and even eventually be mocked by the show down the line. Not gonna lie, that kind of feels right somehow. Goes to the afterlife, which took...
Well, and George Clooney, he played a doctor. We all know that.
That's James Hetfield singing that, and everybody saying, no, it isn't, it be in the credits. Well, he is now, lady dogs.
Oh, you have to censor Doug as well?
Still has better effects than Constantine.
Yeah, the effects.
To blame for all their kids' troubles, and see how the film is from Canada, they, well, you all know the song.
Blame Canada. That's the only song that I know so well from.
Especially when it comes to animation. Them nominating the song and having Robin Williams sing it does show they can have a brain every once in a while. To give it to them, but okay, I'm moving on.
And Robin Williams performing the song.
This is a satire of outrage culture, claiming media is destroying the sensitive minds of the country, and censorship is the only answer. Realizing their outrage might be doing more harm than good. This is, no surprise, still practiced today. As it ping-pongs in between political extremes. Yeah, remember, boycott is totally different from cancel. That's something only the other side does, not us.
Please welcome Terrence and Phillip.
A bunch of parents show up to cancel Terrence and Phillip. I mean, boycott, sorry, just so different. When Conan O'Brien, voiced randomly by Brent Spiner, and Brooke Shields, voiced also randomly by Minnie Driver, turns them into the authorities.
I farted once on the set of Blue Lagoon.
I didn't know I needed a Canadian cartoon slapping Brooke Shields, but that might be the funniest scene in the movie.
You love that movie, Conan.
And Minnie
What have I done?
Truth be told, I think this entire scene exists just to show Conan on his own show.
I sound like that?
Hello, fellows. Nice to have you here. The Canadian government gets back at them, though, by bombing the Baldwins. As if they weren't bombed most of the time.
Do you know what sucks about being a Baldwin? Nothing!
Fear not, the same team will be much nicer to the Baldwins in the future.
Global warming and corporate America.
Coming to America.
Let's be associated with something good. The U.S. declares war on Canada, and Kyle's mom takes over as Secretary of Offense. Announcing that Terrence and Phillip are to be executed. Again,
You wonder how she got that position.
Vulgar violence, just as long as non-vulgar language is being used. Back in hell, okay, you gotta love a film when that's a segue. Kenny's being tortured by Satan and his lover, a constantly aroused Saddam Hussein.
Man, this is getting me so hot.
Let me do my job, please.
I forgot how they did the animation with
I know this
the
is overlap,
heads.
but if you've seen the paintings at his home, this honestly isn't far off.
Okay. First off, Blame Canada. Yeah, Robin Williams performing that song at the Oscars. If I remember correctly, because, he stepped in to sing the song after the unfortunate, sad passing of Mary Kay Bergman. I think she was slated to perform the song at the Oscars, but because she passed away, very tragically, Robin Williams stepped in. And as I was saying, using, the live, actual pictures of celebrities' heads, I forgot how they did the animation to that, because I thought it was just, mouths, maybe something like that, but I forgot it was just, you get my point, if you're following what I'm trying to say. And by the way, because Brent Spiner's Conan O'Brien and Minnie Driver as Brooke Shields, I didn't even know at first that was Minnie Driver voicing Brooke Shields. Well, the fact that we know her British accent so well, and she's not doing a British accent. She's not doing her normal voice. You know, she does a good American accent, you know, in doing Brooke Shields, and Brent Spiner doing an impression of Conan O'Brien is funny. I mean, I think at least, like, Brent Spiner in the South Park as Conan O'Brien is funny, and how Conan O'Brien himself responded to his appearance. I read it on the IMDb page, like, Conan saying to Trey and Matt, like, you know, you killed me! Like, I'm pretty sure of no doubt that Conan found it funny, so that's good to hear. Alright, enough said, continuing. Okay, there's ads. Oh, and Malcolm and Tamara are featured in this one.
Doug plays Jedi Survivor every Friday on Twitch. We also have content 5 days a week.
Alright.
To see you there.
Alright. Get back to the review, please. Okay.
Everyone blames Kyle's mom for starting this war, and the kids start to band together to protest it. Stan even decides to get political because he thinks it'll win over the girl he loves. Again, tell me you've never seen that happen in real life.
This is all Kyle's mom's fault. Shut up, Cartman.
This results in Cartman singing the always classic
Cartman.
She Poodle
Did it make that?
Lassie,
Did it make it?
canine of the feminine breed.
Well, that boy, that girl.
He even sings it in different languages like it's a small world.
No way I'm risking this on YouTube.
Cartman is exfoliating his skin with a beauty mask while singing this number. However, if this was to be taken any other way, I, for one, would be offended by this cartoon that constantly declares it's trying to offend me. Because just like Trump and Thunder and Always Sunny in Philadelphia, all these characters are smart, kind, level-headed role models that are clearly saying we need to be exactly like. If that wasn't the case, these were stupid, ignorant morons.
Oh, brother.
Even satirizing
Tropic Thunder.
stupid, ignorant morons. Dare
I was gonna say,
there could be comedy involved, but that's not Heirs to Beauty.
because he blocked Cartman's face.
Mom,
Now I forget. Was Cartman wearing a mask? I can't remember.
This is a parody of the VHF that was made to block
You know, an
shows
African
that sell
mask,
marketing
like, you know,
children,
like the
but despite so many groups
tiki
complaining,
masks. I
something
can't
like
remember
this
what they're
needs to
called now.
exist,
Sorry.
very few parents actually purchased it. Proving again, it was much more about complaining than actually solving the problem.
Eric Idle.
The next step, where rather than
He
censor what
made an
children
appearance.
want, it censors what they say and even think. I also love the confusing Cartman not wanting to swear with him not being able to swear.
Success! The child doesn't want to swear!
That's Eric Idle.
I should know. People joke they wanted to crucify me because I joked about crucifixion. At least I think they were joking about it. It's also pretty
Yeah, Mighty Python.
how important their children are while totally ignoring their own children.
You're starting a war. You have to stop it. To make them safe again. Hello? Our children are precious. Hello?
Wait till the world unites several groups with social media, then we'll all listen to each other. In the same way so many kids are introduced to classical music via Looney Tunes, I think a lot of us were introduced to Brian Boitano through this song.
That's what Brian Boitano do.
And if you're wondering what Brian Boitano thinks of it,
It's been great being a small part of your journey in South Park.
well, that makes writing a punchline hard, so...
Fuck you all. Give me a fucking brownie.
He sucks. Next scene.
But that's part of a skit. Like, he's not being for real.
Terrence and Philip, they all need to meet up. Meanwhile, Kenny hears that Satan is going to take over the world once Terrence and Philip are killed, as is told in the prophecy that clearly they're not putting much effort into.
We used to talk all night long until the
That wasn't
sun
there,
came
was
up.
it?
Well, yeah, because I was still waiting to get you in bed,
The
dummy.
picture behind them.
So, here's kind of a confession I have about this movie. It's always around this point that I remember it.
What?
I love talking about this film. I look back on it fondly. I remember the commentary, songs, and a fair amount of laughs. But I also have to admit, it can get a little boring. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it's around the half-hour mark where I start to think that. Because South Park is a half-hour show. If you're going to drag this out in an hour-and-a-half movie, though, there's two issues.
I think
One is you can't
I was
rely
getting
on the
bored a couple of
animation
times
visually interesting for
when
that
I
long
watched it.
because, well, it's South Park. That's part of the joke. It's cheap animation. For an hour and a half, though, that's
Yeah.
a pretty long time to look at this cheap-ass style. But in that case,
True.
the comedy really has to be upped, and it's good.
But there's something about it, you know,
It makes
just...
me laugh at times. But there are long stretches where the jokes are a little weak or include scenes that don't even end on a joke. The Brian Boitano song ends on a freeze frame. There's nothing really that funny about that. This scene ends with them naming the group.
The password is La Resistance.
I never got a laugh when I saw it in the theater. And don't get me wrong, it's not like every scene has
I don't
to
think
have
I
a
laughed
laugh, but
either.
for an
I
hour
watched
and
it.
a half of visually dull and not particularly complex characters, unless there's continually songs or jokes, there's not going to be that much entertainment in the moment. Granted, they were making this while they were also working on the next season and fighting with the MPAA. It's impressive we got what we got. But the film does drag a bit because of it. I find surprisingly
Okay, the picture behind them, like,
comedies that have
yeah, something's being blurred, like censored.
Or Borat or Life Aquatic. There's a ton of greatness that stays with you, but when you sit through them again, you forget it's a bit of a snooze fest at times. I will admit, though, I'd much rather have a movie stay with me and have boring moments than a film that's entertaining from beginning to end, but completely forget about it. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this makes it a bad film by any means, but it is an interesting thing to point out. And so when they are doing a song or a joke or both, they really are great. I love they try to make Satan the Lord of Darkness almost like a longing Disney princess. He wants to take over the world simply so he can see it. It's honestly kind of a funny idea.
I didn't think of that, Disney princess. But thanks, Doug.
And yeah, okay, it's not like this is that deep a song, but for audiences just looking for fart jokes, I guess some of these lyrics can be a little challenging.
Fart jokes.
You get a little bit more distance from Sodom when you say that. The kids beat up, and despite Stan trying to be the leader, Gregory takes charge. And I think it only figures my favorite song in the movie is a combination of all the songs. Seriously, this song is just so damn good. The counterpoint melodies, the orchestrations. It's like Les Mis if the singing was intentionally bad.
And the fact that we're getting close to the climax. All the songs combining together.
He's my favorite character. We need more of him. I'll accept the artificial version.
Funny. As I was saying, like, all the songs combined to one. And because to me, when I was watching it, I was like, well, because we're getting close to the climax, so there's that.
Saddam whips out his weapon of mass destruction, which I'll admit wasn't that funny, but in a theater, Christ, does this get a big laugh, so I think it balances out.
We need to speak with the mole.
They get help from a kid called the Mole. Okay, come on, Butters could have been the Mole. Maybe he wasn't a popular kid, I don't know. And Sodom sings a song to Satan about how he'll be better to him.
But I can change, I can change. I can learn to keep my promises, I swear it.
While the song is fine on its own, it is the only musical number where I start to feel people squirming in their seats. It's the Cheer Up Charlie of the flick. You'll get through it fine, but you always forget it's in the movie.
The Cheer Up Charlie? Seriously?
There's a big USO show before the execution of Terrence and Phillip, which includes Big Al and Winona Ryder.
Here's my famous ping pong
Winona
ball.
Ryder. She was supposed to be Winona Ryder.
Stole the show. Yes, 2023. The only other thing we got her is this. What am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Also sings his song, and it looks like part of his name was exaggerated. He's actually bi.
Oh,
And the
gosh.
Canadians attack. Just as Stan finds the Dolores.
Tell me how to get women to like me. Dude, you just have to have confidence in yourself. Chicks love confidence.
I'm confident no matter what I do, this is still going to get me Operation Human Shield puts all the black.
No, I
soldiers
mean,
in the
you've
front
been
to
doing
be
your
shot first.
you've been doing your best censoring a good chunk of this.
Some people gonna die?
Wait. Are you insinuating that Jar Jar is the same actor as that guy? Oh my god, I'm amazed.
I don't think so.
Philip get killed off, allowing hell.
Coincidence, maybe?
Carmen's
I don't
VJ
know.
starts malfunctioning though, and starts shocking others whenever he swears. Of course, vulgar language saves the day. I also love how the big final swear he uses is just Barbara Streisand's. Intimate relations. Stool. Member. Posterior.
Barbara Streisand?
Rocket. Hound dog of the fair sex. Muff is kind. Front bottom. Downstairs. Rectum. Bitch.
Are you done? Okay.
Satan kills Saddam, and Satan gives Kenny any wish he wants because he showed him he was in a terrible relationship. Kenny wishes everything to go back to the way it was, which would mean he would have to go back to hell also. This results in Kenny finally revealing himself, and I'm kind of torn on this. On the one hand, this was a big selling point in the trailers to see what Kenny looks like.
Kenny McCormick.
And it is a little funny that, well, he looks like any other kid.
Goodbye, you guys.
Yeah.
It's also cool they got animation legend Mike Judge to voice it.
Yes.
I'm not crying. It's just, I gotta get out of here.
Well, they altered his
I
voice.
guess I feel like they did this idea better other times with Kenny revealing what he looks like and even sounds like. I don't know. It's not bad. I just think it's done better later.
I mean, at that time, when he was revealed, you know.
Everything's put back to normal. Kenny even goes to heaven because he ironically accepted he would go to hell. And the final song is sung. Even Free Willy does a big jump at the end.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was South Park bigger, longer, and
The
longer.
angels
Both
have
dated,
boobies.
but in many ways still relevant. I think issues of censorship and passing blame onto others for things we don't like is always going to be a thing. Just like sophisticated humor and immature humor are always going to be a thing. So it makes sense a movie like this would combine all that. It's a good representation of what South Park was at the time. And both audiences and critics seem to enjoy the film okay. There's been talks of a sequel for a while. Actually, their Imagination Land miniseries was almost going to be a movie, but the team never quite felt they had the proper follow-up. Much like the Simpsons movie, I don't think it makes sense to do a sequel unless it's years after the finale, or maybe even serves as the finale. It just
Yeah,
feels
yeah.
if they did it while the show was still
Unless...
the same people worked on several projects, though, that had both a large and hilarious scale. So we're not
Team
sure
America.
any
I said
great
Coming to
quality
America.
but for a team that's constantly in a battle over censorship for years and years, I think it's clear their movie talking about censorship has warranted authority with respect. I'm a nostalgia critic guy, remember? So you don't have to.
See you next time, Doug.
I love you.
I love you. All right.
We're still doing
And that's it. Okay, then charity shout out. Wow. Okay. Well, that was something. It was. Like, I mean, like, how Doug, a.k.a. Nostalgia Critic, how he pulled this off reviewing this movie. Wow. But more on that. Jump cut to my thoughts now. Hey guys, so that was my reaction to the Nostalgia Critic's review of the South Park movie. Bigger, longer, and uncut. That's right. And again, just wow, you know, and what Doug, aka the Nostalgia Critic, had to do, you know, pulling off reviewing the South Park movie, you know, censoring, you know, the majority of, you know, swears and images, like, and, you know, when it came to the South Park characters swearing, and, you know, we would cut straight to Doug's cat, you know, that was pretty funny. And, you know, again, like him censoring, like, not just the swears, but the images, like inappropriate stuff that he had to censor. Man, like, again, that's the South Park movie for you. And as I said at the beginning, you know, when I watched it for the first time, and after watching it, I was like, wow, like, what did I just watch? And, you know, and again, that's South Park, like, South Park itself for you. You get my point. What you would expect from South Park itself, you know? Not just the movie, but South Park altogether. So, wow. And another thing is, like, yeah, because I forgot to point this out, you know, and as Doug, aka the critic, you know, talks about, like, South Park is also well known for doing a lot of political jokes, and, you know, I stay away from that stuff, you know, because, you know, I don't need to get involved in that stuff, you know, who does? Who doesn't, you know, why would anybody, would want to get involved? You get my point, so, there's that, and, I tell you, just some stuff that, like, I guess, you know, not funny, but some stuff that are funny. Again, when I watched it, you know, I did laugh at a little bit of it, you know, there were a few jokes to laugh at, yeah, I'm surprised, like, because this popped in my head, because, you know, I pointed out Eric Idle. Doug did not point out that was Eric Idle. Okay, well, obviously he did, but he didn't say, you know, the Doctor being played by Eric Idle. Like, he didn't say that. But, you know, mentioning, of course, Monty Python and them doing, a song of Jesus on the Cross and stuff like that. And, you know, of course, mentioning, you know, and as I talked about, you know, Brent Spiner as Conan O'Brien, Minnie Driver as Brooke Shields. Like, that was funny. And, you know, talking about the Blame Canada song. And as I mentioned, you know, when it came to the Oscars and Robin Williams performing that, you know, and because of the unfortunate, sad, tragic passing of Mary Kay Bergman, you know, and that's another thing because, hey, you know, the guys who created South Park, Matt and Trey, you know, they were good friends with Mary Kay Bergman. They were close friends with her. And obviously, it tore them when, you know, when she tragically died, you know. If anybody, like, knows Mary Kay Bergman and, you know, her tragic death, you know, just very heartbreaking. And the fact that, you know, she sadly died the same year that the South Park movie came out, you know, like, in a way, because, like, South Park lost a huge member of the family, you know? And I've seen that YouTube clip where there's, like, a press conference of South Park, I want to say, like, that took place in 2000, and somebody, you know, there was a Q&A, and, you know, one guy brought up about Mary Kay Bergman and, you know, the characters that she voiced, and, you know, they go on talking about, you know, how, you know, like, I think, like, what's next for the characters that she voiced, and, you know, they're of course very sad to, still sad, you know, I should say, about Mary's passing, you know, and I don't recall, like, any character that Mary Kay Bergman voiced, like, were they voiced by, like, different voice actresses? Like, if you get what I'm saying, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't keep track on South Park because, again, I'm not a South Park fan. I have no desire to, you know, like, watch South Park. I mean, the movie was the exception for me, you know, like, only the movie. So, you know, and also, like Doug didn't bring up the fact that Chef, you know, Isaac Hayes, you know, who was another, you know, big member of the South Park family, you know, voicing, I think, the fan favorite character of South Park, Chef, yeah. You know, even, like, I mean, I know who Chef is, and golly, like, when watching the movie, I was surprised. There wasn't that much of Chef in this movie, but, I mean, that's just how the movie turned out, and, you know, it was fine, so. And about, you know, like, Doug talking about the cheap animation to it, you know, understandable, but there's something about it that's, you know, enjoyable to those, stuff like that. But overall, you know, the South Park movie, it is what it is, and, you know, I thought it was okay-ish. Again, as I said, after watching it, I was like, wow, you know. I don't know. I think at some point I'll probably, you know, torture myself into watching it again. So, you know, and, you know, another thing is, yeah, I think, yeah, because I agreed with what Doug said. One more thing, because Doug brought up about, you know, how the movie could be boring at times, and I mentioned that the same goes for me when I watched the South Park movie. There were a couple of moments where I was kind of getting bored, but, you know, but I still watched it, and I still laughed at some of the jokes, etc. So, you know. But anyways, what about you guys? Like, any of you that have seen the South Park movie, like, what did you think of it? And just like me and everybody else, like, just like, what did I just watch? And what did you think of the video itself, of Nostalgia Critic, you know, giving his review on the South Park movie? And what did you think of my reaction? Leave comments and give this reaction video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my reaction to the Nostalgia Critic's review of the South Park movie. More reaction videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video /reaction. Take care, and peace out.